Previously, a boy named Chu Langzio, without any talent or spiritual power, tried to pass the examination to join Tianwu Academy. While his attempts kept being sabotaged, he managed to awaken unknown power which enabled him to enroll in the academy. During an evaluation, he awoke a rare mysterious colorless power and got a simple wooden plank as his precious artifact. Later, during a battle simulation test, he defeated the previous year's top student, Zhu Zhang, who promised to get his revenge. Soon, Zhu Zhang, also known as Human C, is scolded by his master for getting defeated by the first-year students, but also for losing the meteor stone that's highly precious for the Pure Color clan. QNC realizes that Chu Lingzio must have taken the stone during their fight. He asks for some time to get back the stone, and the clan master grants him a second chance. Chu Lingzio is taking his medicine class from Shambulin. The teacher gives them a task to collect some specific herbs while searching in pairs. When They Feng is taken by another classmate, Chu Lingzio is left with no choice other than to pair up with Ruo Bing, regardless of Ruo Bing's cold attitude and their past disputes. Chu Lingxiao still behaves kindly with her, suggesting that they should work as a team. Though Ruo Bing doesn't perform well on her own, even injuring herself, Chu Lingzio treats her wound. He grew up playing in forests, so his knowledge about herbs helps them to get A+ grade gradually. Kai Lingzio's image is improving in Ruo Bing's eyes. After the class, QNC with his gang comes for Chu Lingzio to get back the meteor stone called Suoshi. While restraining him, he starts to beat him. Chu Lingzio challenges him to a duel. If he wins, he will get QNC's room, but if he loses, QNC can do whatever he wants, and Chu Lingxiao will leave the academy too. Teacher Xia Mulin is asked to judge the fight. The battle begins. Chu Lingzio is just running here and there as he doesn't know how to activate his powers. The purple dragon, Azai, appears and makes him realize that his power only appears when Chu Lingzio is in danger. He has to stop dodging the attacks and face the trouble. The strategy works, and he's filled with a tremendous amount of energy and skills. With the Dragon King's power, Chu Lingzio becomes unstoppable. He can dodge almost everything, even shield himself from Human C's strongest attack. He realizes that clothes are the source of power for Chu Lingzio. He snatches them off but gets an electric shock. No one else can control Z as humans. He falls unconscious. Chu Lingzio is declared the winner and gets his reward. Huan C's residence as a huge dorm, so Chu Lingzio invites his classmates to live with him. But Jia Yi and Yang Tan prefer their previous rooms. Sai Feng is sharing a room with Bailey, while Ruben insists on living with Chu Lingxiao. However, she splits the room into two with her vines. Meanwhile, QNC is being whipped up by his clan boss, Bei Chun, as he is defeated once again. Surprisingly, Yang Tan has come to meet the clan boss. The Pure Color clan members have a strong background, therefore, the academy can't do much about them. However, the vice director orders Doyan to investigate the stealing of Suoshi and also keep an eye on Chu Lingzio. That night, Chu Lingzio finds out the stone he got from Unk, without knowing it's the powerful Suoshi. Accidentally, he smashes his wooden plank, which reveals another Suoshi hidden inside the wood. The two stones merge to form a different one. Chu Lingzio is wondering over this happening when he sees Ruo Bing sneaking out, and he follows her. However, Bei Lang is also following her. While being chased, she falls from a tree because of spiritual energy exhaustion, but she manages to send a spiritual butterfly to Zuya. Ruo Bing manages to get up and walk, but she doesn't have enough stamina to handle the cloak. She takes it off to gather energy but gets interrupted by Chu Lingxiao and falls unconscious. As it's dangerous to leave her there, Chu Lingzio takes her with him back to the dorm. After putting Ruo Bing in bed, Chu Lingzio notices a shiny gem on her forehead. On touching the gem, he sees himself and a small girl surrounded by fire. Suddenly, Ruo Bing wakes up, and they're in an awkward position. She introduces him to the Nutcracker and restrains him with vines. She also warns him not to tell anyone what he saw by making him eat a spell. In response, Chu Lingzio says he understands her as he is also an orphan adopted by a woman who never told him how his parents died. Ruo Bing doesn't reply and goes away, but she drops her necklace behind. Bai Lang is secretly working with the director and finding the Mo traitors inside the academy. But the director instructs him to wait for the right time. Chuling Jia tries to ask Jia Yi about Ruo Bing, showing her the necklace. However, he coughs blood after telling her the surname because of the spell Ruo Bing cast on him last night. Ruo Bing belongs to the Hua family, a noble bloodline that disappeared after the Tianwu War. Chu Lang Zio was rushing to the class when Yang Tan misguided him to a different place where the Pure Color clan ambushes him. That being the reason Yang Tan went to meet the clan, he is jealous of Chu Lang Xiao as Cao Yi is attracted to him. Chu Lang Xiao tries to defend himself. Suddenly his holy power knocks everyone away. He falls to exhaustion. Suddenly, a masked man appears, telling he will die soon because his body cannot handle two holy powers. Yangshan acts innocent and tells other classmates that he accidentally gave Chu Ling Xiao the wrong map. Zhaifeng rushes to inform the teacher, while Ruo Bing goes to search by herself. Meanwhile, the masked man in the forest also knows about the two Suoshi. Ling Jia as the masked man tells Chu Ling Jia that the stone he has is a key to find bilingual, one of the three holy weapons that were used by Fangtan King to build the shield around Tianwu Academy. This weapon can also break the seal in Chu Lang Xiao and restore his original power. However, not everyone can find it as it's hidden in another world. The masked man disappears after giving Chu Lang Xiao a pill to help him fight the Pure Color clan members following him. Bai Lang discovers that the masked man is following Chu Lang Jiao and rushes to inform the director. With the help of Ruo Bing, Zhaifeng finds Chu Ling Jia on their way back. They run into Bai Chuan, who imprisons Ruo Bing in a rock cage and explodes Zhaifeng away. He then tortures Chu Lang Xiao to get the Suoshi, but Ruo Bing saves him with her vines. However, the other two Mao Wu members, Gui and Fu Mei, appear to snatch the key from Chu Ling Xiao. Bai Chuan is about to kill Chu Lang Xiao and his friends, but the two Mao Wu members stop him. They let Chu Ling Zio escape as they can't let the Dragon King's soul get affected. They are just using Bichuan as another step towards their goal of reviving their king. The school makes an announcement about the disobedience of the Pure Color clan. They are dismissed from the academy and put in prison for a month. The key is given to the director, but later, the masked man delivers it to Chu Ling Xiao. The next day, Douyin advises the students to prepare themselves for the upcoming exams to become junior human Hoshi. They should think over how they will demonstrate themselves in front of the whole faculty. However, Chu Ling Zio is still struggling to control his power. Muyan suggests Chu Lang Zio take a rest and don't force himself. He can still try out for the exam next year. However, he is still feeling disappointed over his weakness. Ozai tells him to get stronger, otherwise, he will die if he continues to use his power. Chu Ling Jia doesn't want to fail in the exams. He decides to borrow Bailing Long for a while to break his seal. He gets up in the middle of the night to go where the masked man invited him. The masked man uses the key to locate Bailing Long. He sends Chu Lang Jia to get the holy weapon while he handles the guardian spirits. Chu Ling Jia doesn't understand the sensitivity of the matter. He thinks he can easily put back Bailing Long after recovering his spirit power. As he touches the holy weapon, the third defense seal of the academy breaks. While Chu Lang Zio feels a huge amount of energy inside him, he can't find Bailing Long to put it back as it's already morning. He rushes to the exam hall and decides to handle the other matters later. The exam has started, and students are fighting against their opponents. Chu Ling Xiao reaches in time for his fight and faces the big sword guy. Chu Ling Xiao manages to catch the big sword with his elbow and unleashes his power, shocking everyone around him. Meanwhile, Zuyu is gathering his army to fight against the Tianwu Academy. As Chu Ling Xiao collapses, suddenly, the Mowu army breaks into the examination hall. Some of the students get attacked, but the remaining ones are instructed to leave the place through the south door while the teachers rush to protect them. Zuya heads towards the unconscious Chu Ling Zio. Finally, after many years, the director appears and reveals his identity as Feng Tan King. He tells Zuya that it was their plan to attract him using Chu Ling Jia. However, now there's no escape for Zuya. Hearing this, Zuya transforms himself into a deadly beast to attack Feng Tan King, who also proceeds to revert into his young powerful self using his spirit power. Feng Tan King was about to kill Zuya, however, he stops him by bringing the last member of Hu bloodline, Ruo Bing. Fortunately, Ruo Bing realizes the evil and betrays Zuya by restraining him with her vines. After successfully defeating Zuya, Feng Tan King says to Ruo Bing that he will tell her everything she wants to know. Suddenly, Feng Tan King gets attacked by the vice director, who is the stepdaughter of the Dragon King, Kulu Wang. She spent many years at the Tanwu Academy investigating a way to revive her father. She also reveals that the masked man Chu Lang Xiao met was her puppet. While being unconscious, Chu Ling Xiao finally finds out that the person who is providing him with powers is Kulu Wang. Chu Ling Xiao tries to run away, but his body is restrained and controlled by the Dragon King. While Kulu Wang is controlling Chu Ling Xiao's body, he moves to Wen, whose arms Feng Tan King advises Wen Hu to give up as they are surrounded by the Tianwu Defense Force. But the Pure Color clan appears and helps Wen Hu escape to the altar of the last battle. The director tells everyone to hurry, they must rescue Chu Lang Xiao within the next 4 hours until the Dragon King has not been revived completely. Otherwise, everything will be doomed. While his body is at the altar, Chu Ling Xiao is trying his best to resist Kulu Wang's intentions, however, his stamina is gradually decreasing. Feng Tan King and others rush towards the Mao Temple. Meanwhile, Yong Tan tells Zai that he's also a part of the Pure Color clan. He loves her, that's why he can't let Cao Yi be taken away by Chu Ling Xiao. However, even after knowing that Chu Ling Xiao has the Dragon King sealed inside him, Zhao Yi chooses him over Yong Tan and rushes to help Chu Ling Xiao. Feng Tan King and others have reached the Mao Temple, however, they get attacked at the door by some sort of undead. Plus, Wen Hu's gang, Ruo Bing manages to find a way to sneak inside. Chu Ling Xiao has given up, and his body is disintegrating while being submitted by Kulu Wang. Suddenly, Ruo Bing remembers using her forehead's gem, and she transfers her consciousness inside Chu Ling Xiao's mind. There she reveals to Chu Lang Xiao that she's the cloak guy he met, and she believes they can win as a team. Kulu Wang attacks her and Chu Ling Xiao with the desire to protect her awakens his original transparent color spirit power. After which, the aura of the Dragon King's presence starts to become weaker. Still, in his conscience, they fight the Dragon King. However, Chu Ling Xiao's power shows no effect when facing Kulu Wang. Ruo Bing uses her vines to restrain him, but he simply powers up and frees himself. Kulu Wang promises them to spare him while releasing even more of his power, which forces Chu Lang Xiao to use his colorless spiritual power to shield the girl. Their shield gets destroyed, and Kulu Wang reveals that since they're in his domain, they must abide by the domain's rules. He reveals that the first rule is that his power is limitless, and he attacks. Chu Lang Xiao dodges and attacks him, but his power is absorbed, revealing the second rule. The more spiritual power they use, the stronger he becomes, allowing him to be revived even faster. Ruo Bing uses her vines to pull Ling Xiao back and body shields him from an attack as she starts to slowly disappear. Kulu Wang reveals the third rule: if someone is defeated in his domain, their spiritual power is also absorbed. As she fades away, she tells Lang Xiao that she wanted to pay him back for all the times he helped her. Watching her fade from his conscience, Ling Xiao goes Super Chad and punches the hell out of Kulu Wang, who tries to restrain him with the vine powers he absorbed from Ruo Bing. Lang Xiao simply machine guns him with energy balls. However, every time he uses his powers, the faster Kulu Wang revives. Budget Naruto stops using his Bijou mode and tries to beat Kulu Wang with his fists, however, he loses his hand, then he loses his other arm. Kulu Wang gets up, chokes the hell out of Ling Xiao until they talk about the Hua family, which Ling Xiao reveals they're all dead. Suddenly, a bright light appears in, Kulu Wang coughs blood. In the real world, Ruo Bing uses her vines to destroy the Dragon King's domain. When Ling Xiao wakes up, Ruo Bing places a stronger seal and promises to kill him if he reveals her identity. She also tells him he's still trash because he must repeat his exam. Meanwhile, while sitting on his throne, the Dark Moon Lord tells his subordinates